Do you have the three levels of freedom? If you're like most people, you have one, maybe two levels of freedom, and that's why you feel stuck in life. Because without all three levels, you're never going to be able to live life on your terms. When you unlock all three of these levels, you're able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, with whoever you want. So, what are these three levels? Well, let's break them down. The first level is financial freedom. And this is the obvious one, right? This is the one that everyone talks about. This is all the business gurus out there saying, you got to hustle, you got to grind, you want to, build as much money as you can. And there's a lot of truth to that too, but there's also a lot of negatives to that as well, which I'll go over in a second. But basically, the first thing that you want to unlock for a life of total freedom, I'm talking about a life that feels like a video game where you just can't wait to get up every single day and you do exactly what you want to do. The first thing that you need to unlock is financial freedom. So what is financial freedom? Financial freedom is basically when your income is greater than your expenses. Now I want to be clear here. There's multiple different definitions for financial freedom. That's the basic one, right? When you have more money coming in than you do going out. Now, there's levels within this level, obviously, right? Because some people, they start upgrading their lifestyle and all of a sudden this expense gets really, really big, right? So they have a lot of expenses now. And that's what happens when you start to live an incredible life is your income starts to go up because you want to live an incredible life, right? For example, I remember when I started off, I was 19, I was studying engineering at the time. I just dropped out of school and there was a period where I was so broke. I had literally a negative bank account more times than I can count, I should mention, along this journey. But there was one specific point where I had a negative bank account. I was living in a foreign country because I dropped out in Australia. And I had to scrape together coins and go to the supermarket at 5 p.m. because that's when the bread went on sale from $2 to $1 because the bread started to get stale. So I waited all day just to go to the supermarket at 5 p.m. so I could spend $1 on stale bread, and I would live off that and protein powder for about 2 weeks at a time when I was having really, really rough periods. And so I definitely did not have financial freedom, right? I was in a really, really bad place. I was negative. My expenses were high. I had to pay for an apartment. I had to pay for living. I had to pay for food, and I just didn't have it. Or I was barely breaking even, and that's why I was so stressed. But now, 5-6 years later, at 25, I'm at a place where my expenses are they're not super, super crazy high because it's honestly not as much as you think to live an incredible lifestyle. But, they're more than what most people pay. But my income is now at a place where it is way greater than my expenses, way greater, right? I have room to invest. I can build things I want to build. I could pay my team. I could buy, I just bought a supercar for my car people out there. It's a 2020 brand new R8 V10 Plus. It is my baby girl. Her name is Kimura, and it's just so much fun. And I can do things like that. I could stay at the nicest hotels, at the nicest Airbnbs. I could fly first class. I could eat at the nicest restaurants. I could treat my friends to things. I could take my family out, right? I can do that because I have financial freedom. Now, again, there's levels to that, right? You want to be a billionaire with a massive mega yacht, then you have to keep upping the game. But to get to the baseline, to get to a place where you are free, right? Not necessarily a billionaire or even a millionaire, but you are free and you have financial freedom. That's when you've unlocked the first level of freedom. And then life starts getting really good. But if you just have the first level and you don't have the other two, you're going to be stuck. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at the next level. The next level is what I call location freedom. And location freedom is basically the ability to travel around the world and be in any location, and your life doesn't really change. You can just kind of take your life and your business with you. For example, earlier this year, well, let's recap my 2020. I started in Miami, and so then I went from Miami, I went to Dubai. And then from Dubai, I went to Tulum. And then from Tulum, this is going to piss me off because it's not good. There we go. From Tulum, I went to Medellin. And then from Medellin, I went to Lake Tahoe to go snowboarding. And then from Lake Tahoe, I went to probably back to Medellin and then off to Bali. And now I'm, off here in Utah, and then I'll be going to New York, and then I'll be going back to Tulum, right? And throughout all of this, I've taken my business with me. I have a portable business and really a portable life, right? This won't be what everyone wants, but basically, I have the freedom to pick up my life and go to any country in the world. I've spent the last 5 years of my life traveling all around the world: Dubai, Italy, Spain, right? Wherever, I mean, there's just so many places at this point. Sweden, all over America, right? Colombia. It's just, it goes on and on and on. I could just go on for forever because I don't even keep track of the countries anymore, because that was one of my biggest goals, is to see this beautiful world that we have. And so I needed a business and a lifestyle that I was able to take with me around the world. So to give you an idea, I've been living out of luxury Airbnbs, penthouses, and, 5-star hotels as I've done this journey. And so I have the location freedom to go anywhere in the world, and my life doesn't change a bit. In fact, it just keeps getting better and better. So what's an example of not having location freedom? Well, maybe you have a job that you have to be in a physical location for. Maybe you have to go and be in traffic every single day and just go to the office, right? Or maybe after COVID, you're working virtually. So a lot of people have a taste of location freedom, but it's not true location freedom. Why? Well, for example, I spend a lot of my time in Medellin, Colombia, beautiful place, and there's a lot of digital nomads that start coming down there. And I talk with a lot of them, meet a lot of cool people. And whenever I tell people I'm going off to Bali or Dubai or New Zealand or Australia or whatever, the first thing they say is, "Oh, I'd love to do that. I just can't, because I've got to be on the EST time zone for my calls." So that's an example of having partial location freedom, but they cannot be in a physical location because they are chained by some sort of restraint. So when you unlock location freedom, you can then start traveling all around the world. If maybe you don't want to travel around the world, a lot of people I work with, they like to take a van and they rent a van, a really decked out luxury van, and start traveling all across the country doing road trips and just, going from place to place. And there's so much beauty in that. But wouldn't you rather have that ability than not have it? Right? And you see what I mean? This is where it starts to get like, most people just aim for financial freedom, but this last one, right? This last level really sums up why you need all three. So the last level we have here is time freedom. And this is the one that most people rarely ever get to. Again, most people get one or maybe two levels of these levels unlocked, right? But it is extremely rare that you meet someone with all three. Why is that? Because if you can get all three, you basically become like a god. You can do anything, right? You could just do whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, with whoever you want. So let's take a look at why this is so important. What happens if you have financial freedom, you make a lot of money? Let's put a number on it, right? Again, financial freedom is relative, right? To some people, 100 grand a year is financial freedom. To some people, 60 grand a year is financial freedom. To other people, right, 5 million a year, 10 million a year, 100 million a year is their version of financial freedom. So it completely varies. Let's use a simple number. Let's say $250,000 a year is what you consider financial freedom, okay? Now let's say you're a doctor and you make $250,000 a year. Do you have financial freedom? Let's say we're a doctor who their expenses are way less than that. They paid off their debt. We can say that that doctor has financial freedom. However, does that doctor have location or time freedom? Unless they're a very, very forward-thinking doctor, usually the answer is no. They have a physical office that they have to go into every single day. They can't take their family on vacation to Hawaii for 2 months because they do not have the location freedom, and they definitely do not have the time freedom. Even if they innovated their business to where they were doing consults via Zoom, they still physically have to trade their time for money. Okay, and this is the race or the trap that most people are stuck in. This is why they call it the rat race, because your income is in direct proportion to the time that you spend generating that income. A doctor has to show up or he doesn't get paid. Now the goal is to go from this, right, where you're trading all your time for money. You want to go from this to, let's see how we can do this over here, to this. Let's take a look at what that actually looks like. What would you rather do? Would you rather spend this amount of time to make this amount of money? Or would you rather spend this amount of time to make this amount of money? This is called passive income, where you have a system that works whether you are there or not. And this is why it is extremely important not just to make a bunch of money, but to do it in a way where it gives you absolute total freedom. And this is where the business gurus, most of them, have created what I call a golden jail cell. And basically a golden jail cell is this right here. It's where you've maybe built a business or a speaking gig or whatever your thing is, right? You've built a system that makes you a lot of money, maybe $1 million a year even, right? Maybe more. But that business keeps you trapped. You are stuck inside of this box right here, right? And usually you don't figure that out until you're very deep in it, because to keep the thing going, you've got to be that doctor showing up every day. You know, you've got to be working with patients. But in this case right here, when we're talking about this, you're free. You have no cage. You have no limits. You are free to live life how you choose, because you have unlocked all 3 levels of freedom. And so I ask again, do you currently have all 3 levels of freedom? If not, that is why you feel stuck. It's not just about making more money, because even if you got a raise at your job right now, even if you made some more investments, right? Chances are it's still not enough to give you that total freedom. So what do you do? What do you do if you're working a job right now and you want to live this sort of life? You want to live life to the fullest. You want to quit your job. You want to travel the world. You want to maybe even build something of your own. How do you do it? Well, most people go out and they try to build these different businesses, right? They try to build all different sorts of things. You know, there's all these courses on how to build agencies or how to become a coach or consultant or whatever. But again, most of these are what I call a golden jail cell. And maybe they'll make you money, but they keep you trapped, and you usually don't figure it out until it's too late. So what do you do instead? You switch the vehicle, right? Let's say that you and I are trying to get to, you're gonna have to excuse my terrible drawing here, but here we go. Let's give it a go, friends. We're trying to get to an island, okay? This is a palm tree. Oh, it's that, we could pretend that that's a palm tree. Let's say that we're trying to get to an island, okay? And this island, like all islands, is surrounded by water. And this island is called Freedom Island, okay? And it has everything that we ever want, all the goodness of life. It has time, location, and financial freedom. It's where we want to be. If we can get to this island, we can live life on our terms, truly. Not just talk about it, not just have a nice car, not just have a nice watch. We are truly free. We don't have a boss. We don't have to answer to anyone. Our calendar is clear. We don't have an alarm clock. That's a joke. Sitting in traffic, oh my God, what a disgusting thought. Never again. I'm talking about true freedom here. So how do we get there? How do we get to Freedom Island? Well, most people who are trying to figure out how to make money online or, do the thing, they're trying to figure out how to get to Freedom Island. They're just using the wrong vehicles. What I mean by that is they're trying to take a bike. Believe it or not, that's a bicycle. Yeah, that's we'll put some spokes on it. Oh, I've made it worse. I have made it worse somehow. Anyway, these people are trying to take a bike to Freedom Island. How is that going to go if Freedom Island is surrounded by water? How is that going to go if we're trying to take a bike through an ocean to get to Freedom Island? Not going to go too well, is it? Not only that, how much energy are they going to be exerting on that journey? Because most of these people do not know that they can't get to the island with a bike. So they're pedaling and pedaling and pedaling really, really hard, and they're trying, they're giving it all. They're all, right? I know plenty of these people. I used to be one of these people, a hustler. That's what I call a hustler, right? And this is why most of the business gurus have it wrong. Hustle alone does not equal success. Leverage does. I build my life and my businesses working smarter rather than harder. Hard work is a part of success. But watch this. What do you think would happen if we switched our vehicle from a bicycle to, oh, this is going to be even worse, man. Just kind of deal with this here. Pretend, let's use our imagination. This is a helicopter, okay? And this is us, and we're smiling. What would happen if we switched from a bicycle to a helicopter? How hard would it be to get to Freedom Island, assuming they have a beautiful helipad waiting for us, which they do? Which one do you think would have an easier time getting to Freedom Island? Which one would enjoy the ride more? Which one would be in a completely different dimension of thinking? Where, yes, maybe they're working hard a little bit, but once they're off the ground, all they're doing is enjoying the view and keeping their eye on the goal. That's why I build helicopters instead of bicycles. I choose a vehicle that is specifically designed for the result that I want. Remember, any business can make you money. Not any business can get you freedom. Let me rephrase that. Any business can get you freedom, because I'd be lying if I said it couldn't. But for most businesses to get to a point where they're giving you true, I'm talking about actual time, location, and financial freedom, you have to build a massive team, use dozens of softwares, glue it all together, right? Pay a COO a huge salary, chief operations officer, someone who can run your company for you. Usually hire a CEO to replace yourself. And you have to make sure you have SOPs, standard operating procedures, manuals, all these sort of things. And you're just spending tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And with all that risk and pressure to automate your business, and it usually takes years because you have to teach other people to do it. Versus, why not just use a business model that's designed for freedom from the ground up? And that's what I help people do. I help them go from the bicycle to the helicopter. And it is super, super cool. It's super rewarding to watch someone switch that vehicle and then get the result in record time. Okay, so if you're interested in switching from the bicycle, or maybe you haven't even started the journey yet, which if you haven't, you're in luck, man. You've just saved yourself a lot of time. Most people spend years. They spend years in the bicycle part, and then they get into that golden jail cell and they don't even realize, and they quit, right? They burn out and they quit. If you're finding this at the beginning of your entrepreneur journey, I envy you, because I have a free training. It's incredible. Let me just say that. It breaks down this entire business model. We have a business model basically where you can leverage other people's already successful products, and you can partner with them, and you can basically build a business selling other people's products. So instead of having to build these processes and automations to try to automate your business, because most of that is done on the fulfillment and sales side, all you have to focus on is just marketing those products. And that's why I kind of compare it to a helicopter, because it's a completely different dimension of doing business. So I want to keep this video pretty short, but I want you to know, like, the goal of this video was for you to see that there's a better way. If your goal is freedom, right? If your goal is true freedom, there is a better way. And how does that start? It starts with the foundation. It starts before you even go on the journey. Or if you've gone down the journey, it starts by backing up and being like, hey, dude, okay, maybe I've been riding the bicycle for 2 years and I'm like kind of halfway in the ocean and I'm drowning. Maybe it would be intelligent, instead of keep pedaling, you can't even, like, are you paddling or are you pedaling, right? You just got the wrong vehicle. Instead of trying to keep doing that, why don't I start over and jump in the helicopter? I'll get there way faster with way less stress, and I'll enjoy the ride so much more. It's not even comparable. Again, it's a completely different dimension of doing business, completely different dimension of thinking. So if you want to see how we're helping students all around do this, all around the world, I should say, helping them break free, helping them quit their jobs. You know, I love, one of my favorite things is seeing my students quit their job and then go to a country they've always wanted to visit and live there. Super, super cool. Or jump in a van or a mini home. It's super cool. You know, I love seeing that. Or you just want to stay at home and you just want to be with your kids more. You just want to chill at home and watch Netflix more and not have an alarm clock. That for me is super rewarding. So if you're interested in jumping into the helicopter, if you're interested in learning more about this business model, check it out. Somewhere on this video, there's a link. You can click it. It will take you to a page. You just put in your information so we can send you the training. It's completely free. Like I said, it's super good. I'm super proud of it. I get hundreds of messages every month on Instagram, Facebook, email. People are like, dude, that was the best free training I've ever seen. That was way better than the $2,000 course I just bought. Like, thank you for putting this out there. And yeah, it's really good. Honestly, this could change your life. I'm not just saying that. Like, if you're wondering, like, why is this guy doing this? Does he have something to sell? Yes, I have an awesome product. It's so good. But if you never buy my product, I still wanted to build a brand of giving so much value that your life can be completely shifted just by watching our free stuff. And I hope this video was a part of that. I hope you can see the love and care put into this little short video here. But if you want to go further, this training, it's really in depth. It's really step by step. It shows you how everything works. I made it so simple that a sixth grader could do this business, right? So you've got it. Again, just click wherever the link is on this. Check it out for yourself. I really recommend putting your phone on airplane mode and really diving in, because this one video could change everything for you. I really value your time. Time is, like I said, right? You can see how much I value time with this thing, right? Time is the most valuable resource that we have, way more than money. So I value your time. Even though this is free, I respect that you're taking some time out of your day to watch this, and I honor that. So just know that a lot of care, a lot of intention, and a lot of thought on how do I make this as simple as possible and as step-by-step as possible for people. A lot of that energy went into the video. So check it out. Again, you have nothing to lose, but everything to gain, man. Everything to gain. This can literally save you 5-10 years and probably hundreds of thousands of dollars in business expenses by trying the wrong businesses, right? Just by seeing something that probably fits what you're looking for. If you're who we're trying to share this video with, you're someone who values freedom and values living life to the fullest overall. So, all right, I'll see you on the other side, and enjoy. Keep going on that journey. It is so worth it. Peace.